Hello and welcome to SmallBiz Week. We are so excited to have our first guest today, Renee Chaplin, and she's joining us as the VP from Constant Contact for Asia Pacific. Renee, how are you doing today?
I'm good. Having a wonderful day. Thanks for having me.
Of course, we love having you here. And you've had so many exciting workshops and keynotes, all talking about, new marketing technology for small businesses. Can you tell us a little bit about what's going on in the small business space in regards to marketing and new technology that they should know about that they might not?
Look, what we're seeing is really exciting because I think there's a lot more small businesses now that are embracing technology than we've ever seen before. And I think that has a lot to do with the way that consumers are browsing now, the way that they're shopping, the way they want to buy, the way that they want to engage with brands. And so a lot of small businesses know they need to be where the consumers are. And that might be social media. That could be looking at a variety of channels for marketing purposes like email and SMS. But it's a really exciting time. I think AI has really kind of ruffled some feathers in a way, but also got people really excited about the potential of what they can do in their business with less. And I guess the big part of that, because what we see, and at Constant Contact, we've done a lot of research on this, that 50% of small businesses have less than 15 grand to spend every year. And that's not a lot of money to spread across a 12-month period, particularly with how expensive paid media has become. It's so expensive now. And we hear so much about small businesses feeling like they're burning cash. They've really run through their budgets very quickly with paid ads. And what they're trying to do is look for ways to stretch that budget further and get more ROI. And email, we're super passionate about it because it is the highest ROI channel of all marketing channels. It has a $36 return for every dollar invested, and no other channel does that yet. So that's what we're hearing a lot about from small businesses that are wanting to grow. And in some cases, with the way the economy is right now, sometimes they're just trying to survive. But to survive, they still need to market their business and stay top of mind, particularly when you're competing with big business.
Of course. And it is so important that small businesses know that AI and automation, they're not scary terms, and there is a little bit of fear around them at the moment. But I think, your company in particular has done a great job at our small business event to show people that, it's accessible and it's easy to use. And as you said, it can be very budget friendly. In your keynote, you mentioned something that I was particularly interested in. And it was about timing to send out for email marketing. And you were saying Friday is actually an excellent day.
It is,
and
yeah.
It's, a lot of small businesses would think the opposite.
Yes.
Can you tell me a little bit more about that and why that is and how you came to that data conclusion? Yeah.
Yes. Well, we do only use data to make those kind of claims. And I should probably stop telling everyone at every keynote I do about this, but I can't help it because I love helping small businesses. But the big reason why Fridays are so good is because so many people don't send on those days. So the volume is down, which means the open and the click-through rates for your emails will be higher. But certainly across all verticals, that's what it tells us, that there is a higher open rate, a higher click-through rate. So that means an overall higher engagement rate for emails sent on Fridays. So there's a way for you to actually see based on your industry as well. That might differ slightly, not so much the day. It is certainly the same day, but benchmarking what should your open and your click-through rate actually be. Maybe you're in construction, or maybe you're a professional services business or in retail. It can differ slightly in terms of how engaged people are at an email level, but it is good because then you can compare and see, how do you rank amongst, your small business competitors, and that can give you some goals to improve.
And it's always good to use data, right, to jump to these conclusions.
Yes.
And I love that small businesses are really embracing, these emerging technologies, even if it's something as simple as data collection can help them so much to make, informed decisions.
Yes.
I think our final question for you today is about if you just had one tip that you could give small businesses about marketing, what would it be and why?
What I would say is to consider all channels. So what we know is that only about 17% of small businesses are using more than one channel to market themselves. And a lot of that would be around social or email. Where we see the magic happen is when social media, email marketing, and SMS are used together. And having those multiple touch points does make a big difference. But what we also see is that a big reliance on social media and growing followers, which is brilliant. It's an excellent place to start, and very important in terms of getting that wider reach and awareness. But you don't own the followers. Right. And you really are at the mercy of the algorithm as to whether you get heard in a noisy news feed. And so what I'm always encouraging, and I work as a small business mentor for Queensland government as well, is really helping small businesses take the social media following, get them out of the friend zone and put them into a contact base so that you can market to them directly. And you've actually got the contact details, because we know, like with the TikTok saga in the US, there was a lot of concern and a lot of realization that you don't own the followers. Anything could happen. You know, there's a lot of small businesses, you know, here as well that rely on social. They, you know, their accounts get hacked, or, you know, there's certain violations, you know, around content and they get shut down. All sorts of things can happen. And then, you know, entire platforms being shut down is pretty scary too. But then there's no way for you to contact all these followers you worked so hard to build. So if you're getting them from the social media pages into your contact base, into a platform like Constant Contact, where you can then email market to them as well, highly relevant content, then you're really building an asset that if you decide to sell your business later, that contact base is really valuable. You can't sell social media profiles. You can't sell your Facebook page. It goes against the terms and conditions of Meta. And not a lot of people know that. But your asset, your contact base, whether they're prospects or customers, really starts to grow in value if you can actually get them out of the social media pages and into your contact base. And having those ways to market to them through email, even social media scheduling is possible through Constant Contact as well. So you can manage everything out of one platform, but then looking at ways to incorporate SMS, which has a 98% open rate. So it really does drive higher engagement when you've got those multiple channels.
Fantastic. So you heard it here first. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Make sure you can get in contact with all your social media followers by getting them into your own database through a contact service such as Constant Contact. Thank you so much for joining us here, Renee. And we're so excited that you're been a sponsor of this event. And thank you for all the insights you've shared today.
Thanks for having me.